Today I'm talking about The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. Who says Book Bites isn't bang up to date with what all the cool TikTok kids are reading? The Moonstone is a 19th century detective novel credited with establishing many of the tropes that would come to define the genre. And it does do that, but I wouldn't say it mastered the pacing. Here's one example. After a relatively eventful prologue which explains the origins of the Indian diamond called the Moonstone, we're introduced to one of several narrators who will lead us through the rest of the book. Betteridge, the butler of the wealthy household where the central mystery is to unfold. He spends his whole first chapter telling us about himself and how much he loves the book Robinson Crusoe, to the point where at the end of the chapter he apologises to us for wasting our time and says he'll start over. And then in chapter 2, he does the same thing again. It's kind of endearing, to be honest, but it's indicative of how characters and incidents that are relatively peripheral to the main plot will take up a lot of the page count throughout. Maybe the most extreme example is Miss Clack, who swans in to take the reins of the narrative just as it looks as if we might be approaching a denouement. She's, to be fair, a great character, a witty portrait of a certain kind of pompous evangelical, but looking back I'm struggling to name a single thing that happened in her entire section that was actually essential to the plot. Another thing that will jump out at the modern reader but won't surprise anyone familiar with Victorian literature is the background hum of racism, sexism and classism. Betteridge, for all his gentle propriety, seems to have a bit of a problem with women, and just about everyone seems compelled to chime in with a bit of casual racism now and then. In particular, Indians are described as superstitious and obsessed with recovering their stolen diamond, to the point where they'll even kill for it. This is a particularly ironic thing to accuse them of, given that the white guy who originally stole the diamond from India killed 3 people to get it. Perhaps the irony is deliberate. I think it could be, but maybe that's wishful thinking on my part. I always want to believe that people from the past are capable of seeing past the pervasive prejudices of their cultures. Wilkie Collins seems to entertain more progressive ideas and glimpses here and there, such as in his relatively sympathetic portrayal of a reformed female thief, but the gravity of Victorian norms is too strong to escape entirely. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't be tying myself in knots trying to decipher the author's intent. I mean, what would Roland Barthes say? Then again, he's dead, so who cares? Doesn't feel good, does it, Roland? Wonder if they can rescind my degree for that joke. Anyway, for such an early example of the genre, The Moonstone weaves quite an elaborate mystery, with twists and turns, including one sharp turn near the end, which felt about the right level of far-fetched for a whodunit. If you can look past the pacing and a few dated attitudes, you'll find The Moonstone more than just a literary curiosity. Its humorous characterizations and intricate plotting add up to a genuinely enjoyable and impressive, if slow-moving work.